Once in a while, I will answer questions for subscribers. This is one of those videos, and this guy basically was asking me a question, explaining also the day-to-day living experience of his life, his living situation at home. And the gist of his question was, how do I stay motivated every day? Because he sees YouTube videos, and apparently he also has me on Facebook. So he sees what I am doing outside of YouTube. Like there's YouTube, and then there's my main business, and during winter time there's other things that I'm doing, selling products, selling other services, just so I can survive the hard times of winter for my business. So his question is more of, how do I stay motivated? And my question back to that is, what is the alternative? Because the truth of the matter is that there is no alternative. I thought the mic is not connected. Yeah, so the fact of the matter is that there is no alternative. I have to keep working, I have to keep hustling, whether or not the feeling of motivation is there or not. I think for daily hustlers, entrepreneurs to look for motivation is a luxury. It's a luxury that South African entrepreneurs unfortunately cannot afford. You see, motivational speakers are motivational speakers, and they are big motivational speakers in countries in Europe, in the United States, your Britains, your Canada, and all of that, Australia. There's motivational speakers in those countries whom are really big and making a really good living. We have a few here in South Africa as well, but what you will notice with the really good motivational speakers, or the good speakers who are motivational in how they deliver their speeches, they tend to do much better outside of South Africa. You know why that is? My personal opinion is because those people can actually afford to need motivation in order for them to stand the fuck up and do whatever they have set their goals. Whatever they told themselves they want to do in that year, they are the people who can actually afford needing motivation. Here in South Africa, here in Africa, there's no time for motivation. You don't have a choice. Because if you are not motivated to, let's say you're not motivated to wake up in the morning so that you can go sell, if you are selling at a taxi rank, or you have to go sell at office to office if you are selling business to business. Let's say you don't feel motivated to do that on that day. What is the alternative? Unfortunately, for most of us, the alternative is making no money. The alternative is being unable to feed ourselves. The alternative is being dependent on the government. And as we already know, the government is not that reliable, not in our country. And from what I hear from other Africans is that it's the same in their countries as well. So the alternative is not so great. So whether or not you are motivated, you just have to do what you have to do. Making the example of the guy who actually emailed me, last year he was getting SRT, this is 350 Lawe government. And then this year he started a hustle, and then he sells accessories for ladies in a taxi rank. And he sometimes makes $50 in profit, sometimes he makes more than that, but it's never less than 50 Rand in a day. And that's excluding travel fees, because he has to actually catch a taxi to the taxi rank, and then he has to catch a taxi going back home. Sometimes he gets a free ride because he's getting to know more of the taxi drivers in the area. So sometimes he goes back home with 70 Rand, sometimes he goes back home with 100 Rand by what he is explaining. Sometimes he can even go back home with up to 400 Rand. It just depends on the day. Sometimes you have other things that you are able to sell or be a middleman in, and you just keep making more money like that. But his question was, how do I stay motivated, especially on the hard days? And my question really is just, if you are not motivated and you decide not to wake up and go hustle, what would the alternative be? And the alternative is that you're waiting for 350 Rand once a month, and that 350 Rand doesn't last a day. Whereas if you're making 50 to 300 Rand a day, in a month you are making money that is more substantial when you actually compare it to that 350. So that's all I could say to this guy. And fortunately allowed me to actually do a video using his story, but I'm not going to mention names and everything and more details. So I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there who has the same questions or same struggle. My question to you, when you ask yourself how to be motivated, or when you go onto Google or YouTube and ask how to stay motivated, the question to you is, what is the alternative? If you are in Africa, if you are in South Africa, even if you are not in Africa, you are in another country that is a first world country, but you are living in a poor situation, you are living under the poverty line of your country. If you don't feel motivated, so you don't work, what is the alternative? Do you have a choice to be motivated or not? I'll see you in the next video.